Good evening and a very warm welcome to the Grassroots Weekender Show. I'm Mal Lee, your host for this evening. I hope everyone's keeping well out there. I'm just putting my timer on anyone who wants to wonder what I'm doing. It's always caught out. As soon as you start the timer on Spotify, something goes wrong. Obviously it does, but hey ho, we're back on. Hope you're all keeping well out there and you're all looking forward to your grassroots football this coming weekend. That's if you're not in the Eastern Junior League, by the way, because they cancelled all fixtures for 2 weeks, 2 Saturdays on the run, due to, let's say, incidents that happens within the league. Now, I can't verify what sort of incidents have happened in the league, whether it's the mini soccer side, the youth side, I'm not too sure, but they've taken upon themselves to cancel all fixtures, and you may have seen on social media regarding this situation as well. So I want to mention a massive thanks to BBC Radio Merseyside for contacting me and having me on the show and talking about grassroots football in general and the poor touchline behaviour, shall we say, because according to reports now, because the Eastern Junior League have not come on the show or declared any statements, I think they have made 1 or 2 statements, but it doesn't really give the general information as to why and what age groups were involved in what was going on. And I know the local county FA, Cheshire FA, didn't make a comment either, so I was glad that they put me on the show, because this has happened before in the Merseyside youth. If everyone remembers it, a couple of years ago when they cancelled fixtures due to verbal abuse towards referees. But I think it was a bad mistake, and I also think the Eastern Junior League was a bad mistake as well. Now, before we go any further, let me just emphasise, as I did on BBC Radio Merseyside this morning with Kev, thank you so much Kev and the team there for having me on once again. I did emphasise that these teams and leagues take it upon themselves to cancel fixtures, and also many teams are suffering, to be honest, unless I'm missing something, because there was no comments. We couldn't really go except off social media and teams commenting, but I know Eastern Junior League switched off their comments on their admin page as well, so you couldn't really read into it, and I suppose that's a good move. And as I say, I want to emphasise that all committee members in junior football leagues do a brilliant job, and sometimes they get things right. Well, no, the majority of times they do get things right. But I think a lot of leagues themselves, because I talked to a lot of leagues who wouldn't have taken this step to cancel games or all fixtures for 2 weeks. Now, I know they're trying to say, right, we're making a stance and we're punishing the minority, because I've seen that on the page and it keeps going on minority, not the majority. And we have to work on that in grassroots football, because it's always the minority who cause problems for others. Now, people are asking me, do you think it's got worse? And I did state on BBC Radio Merseyside that I think it's got better, because years ago there was no governing bodies helping out. I started the campaign Don't Cross the Line, CIC, in 2003 to make a difference in grassroots football. The reason I started it in that era was because of what was going on. There was no governing bodies standing by these teams. County FAs were all official, but they were letting things ride, and a lot of retired county FA officials will tell you, they'll tell you exactly that how bad it was in those days. Now the improvement is because of the likes of the hubs, 3G pitches, barriers. They're making a difference. It's making it better, not making it worse. And a lot of people saying it's gone worse. It's only gone worse when you witness a very poor incident. That is what we try and draw the attention to and get rid of that if we possibly can. But we all need to sing off the same song sheet, stick together to make a difference, support each other within grassroots football. Now, I believe it could make matters worse with teams, because teams will be blaming other teams for getting them suspended games when, you know, managers need time as well. You can't just mess around with them and extend fixtures on them. So what I did emphasise on the radio was that all leagues have a constitution, and leagues are run by the members, and the members are the teams. And lest we forget this, teams have a say. It's the teams' league. They do have a say in what goes on within the league. Now, I think an emergency EGM should have been called and all managers should have been brought in. I don't know whether this happens. Was this the case? Because we're getting no statements regarding that. Or is it the committee who've just made the decision themselves? And we know the Referees Association are on their side. Where do we draw the line? Because it wasn't just about referees. I think it was kids fighting, parents fighting, arguing, committee members probably getting verbally abused as well. I don't know. We're only going off what we're seeing and reading on social media. So there's quite a few stories going around as to what has happened. So there's assaults included in that. We're not too sure if there's assaults included in it. Then you can't talk about it because the police should be involved and then take the appropriate action. And that's my honest opinion. I don't agree with the leagues cancelling the games now. If it was all the managers and they've all done that as members, that's fair enough. But why punish teams who haven't been involved? Now, they've got age groups from under 7 to under 18s, I think. I don't know whether the incidents happened in the youth side of things or the mini soccer side of things. You know, but whichever, regardless, we're talking about minority, and I think I've seen the league state minority. So if it's a minority, then should we deal with the minority? The league have a duty of care, the teams have a duty of care to the leagues. They all have welfare officers. The league has one, and every team should have, or every club should have as well. Because we all know it's all safeguarding when these things happen. Now, the way to deal with things, in my opinion, and I did emphasise that we had these problems when we were at Anfield Junior League, but we've no hesitation in cancelling fixtures for 2 weeks, postponing, whatever you want to call them, unless it was the weather that took its toll, that's all. But not verbal abuse or aggressive behaviour, it was rife. Mark my words, it was rife. And I did emphasise on the radio and about parents fighting with baseball bats, squaring up to each other. It wasn't, as was stated on the radio, a referee was chased with a baseball bat. So, Kev, you got that one wrong. It was parents. I've witnessed referees getting chased across pitches. That's what I've seen, but not with baseball bats. Parents were fighting with the base and squaring up with the base. And this is under 10s game. This is going back around about 2003, 2004. And obviously, hence, this is why I started the campaign that many years ago, because I witnessed all this. And it was a lot of verbal abuse towards referees. And parents did want to chase them and attack them, but not with the baseball. I didn't witness the baseball bats at referees, but that was squaring up to each other in under 10s game. I've seen parents run right across the pitch to thump another parent. I've seen that, I've witnessed it. And obviously this is what we're trying to do to combat grassroots verbal abuse, aggressive behaviour, racist comments and bullying within grassroots football itself, within the junior leagues. And obviously we need your support and our supporters. We go round, and honestly we've always had positive feedback with Don't Cross the Line, the work we're trying to do, but it's never going to end. And I know there's referee organisations out there which thrive off things like this. They thrive off it, and they want to emphasise these are the big problems. What do we do? Do we, as I say, do we cancel junior leagues for one full season? What would that do to grassroots football if we made a stance like that? And don't forget, someone tried to do a referee strike, a national referee strike, which was backfired also. And that was about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And I didn't agree with that either. And I don't think many referees did. So cast your mind back, this is what they've all attempted to do. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. We need to take action against the culprits themselves. And the county FAs will do that, the FAs will do that. And I'm sure that is what they're planning. There's going to be strict action taken against the culprits. And that's all you need. That's all you need. Now, I'll just lower this a little bit because it's an important call. It's an important call. And I will take this very, very soon indeed. But what I'm trying to say is, let's all get together. Let's all work together as a team. Let's all get things organised as a team. And I emphasise teams because it's a team effort. It's what we're all trying to do to achieve things. Work together as one. Really get together. Now, we need to appeal to managers and coaches out there. First and foremost, you have the responsibility of bringing these parents in with the child and the clubs. So you've got a safeguarding officer, you've got things going on with this. I'm just making sure that that call wasn't going on. You witness these things. You need to have your welfare officer. You need a team managers meeting. You need to get the parents in. You need to have strict codes of conduct and adhere to them. Adhere to them. Don't be scared of chasing away a parent and a child from a team if the child has a bad attitude and the parent has a bad attitude. We need to emphasise and work on attitudes within grassroots football. We really do. And we all have a responsibility, a duty of care to others within the team. So what I'm trying to say is work together and let's get rid of irate parents. They'll soon get the message that they're not welcome at grassroots football because they're too disruptive. So can you understand where we're coming from? Work together. And as I say, I can understand the leagues are trying to do something to be positive and take some action. I can understand that. And my opinion is, I don't agree with it. That's only my opinion. You have your own committee there, you do well. And I'm sure, and I know it's hard work running teams and organising teams, referees, pitches. I know the hard work that goes into running a league. I really, really do. And you've made that decision because you feel that's your correct way to combat poor touchline behaviour. So I have a disagreement for the teams that are being punished. This is my opinion. Yeah, small-sided teams, kids who don't understand what's going on within grassroots football and why we haven't got a game for a couple of weeks or you just having a rest, things like this. It's to combat the poor behaviour. But I'd love to find out after the 2 weeks, at the end of the season, what has happened in this Eastern League, because all eyes will be on the league itself as to what happens towards the end of the season, because it's only just started grassroots football. So it's new teams coming in and parents who don't understand what is going on. It happens. And they come in, so we need all managers and coaches and clubs to get together with the new parents, give them those codes of conduct. But basically it doesn't work when no one reads them. So you need to have verbal meetings and discuss what is expected of the parents and the kids when they join your club. We know what's going on and we know we're trying to stop it, and we know county FAs and the FAs are all working hard to make a difference in grassroots football, just like we do with Don't Cross the Line. And we go out there and we talk to managers, talk to referees, talk to the kids, talk to committees, making a difference. We want to make a difference. We want to make development football peace of mind for everyone, where the kids can go out and enjoy it and develop their skills, and where the referees can also go out and develop their skills as well. It's what we need to do. Make a difference. Work together in grassroots football, and that's the only way it is going to make a difference. And as I say, when organisations, referee organisations, things like that come on and start slating what's going on, and it's the end of, we do this because we're voluntary. We do this, we're an organisation. My job is a support worker. So I'm DBS, safeguarded, I do all that, you know what I mean? So I do know what's going on, and I work in mental health. And that's what I emphasised as well, because mental health will also affect many children if they witness verbal abuse and aggressive behaviour on and off the field of play. And we know it's on the rise, mental health struggles. So that's why we're getting the message across within grassroots football. We want to make a difference, and we plead to Liverpool and Everton football clubs to continue supporting the work that we do. It was funny because yesterday I actually put in the dates for the Respect Awareness Weekend, and then I get the phone call from BBC Radio Merseyside that something's gone on already within grassroots football, like a suspension of the league. But everyone has their own opinion. My opinion is, I just think it's the wrong decision. And I don't think county FAs would wish any leagues to cancel all fixtures. Let them deal with it. They have a responsibility. That's why they are called the governing body. Leagues have a responsibility as well. We know that, for the health and well-being of other teams, and that's why they're putting it out there and doing it. But you know, if they act on the culprits, that'll have a better effect all around. It really would. And it'd give a message back to other teams that you do this is the punishment that you are going to receive. That's what it should be done. It should be done with teams working together with your county FAs, and maybe they'll have a change of mind. Maybe they'll put them on next week and just say, one suspension is enough. We've got the message out there. We've caused a load of media coverage. Yes, this is what we're doing. So we put the fixtures on. Hopefully they do, and say we're going to continue next week. 1 week suspension is enough. We have the message across. It's a pity it's coming to this, because if every league did it, where would grassroots football be now? And it wouldn't be ready referees, because they will say, I can't be bothered doing it anymore. Not getting any money out of this, I'll find somewhere else, something else to do. And I'm not emphasising that referees are just in it for the money. There's many referees who are not just in it for the money. And we've got to understand that kids have come in there to gain the money, but also to learn about refereeing, officiating. It's a difference, isn't it? It makes a difference. This is what we want. All teams to make a difference, all teams to work together. And that's how we're going to develop grassroots football, if everyone works together. And don't forget, you know, teams are folding, some teams are folding, and it's not because of this verbal abuse or aggressive behaviour. It's not. It's because of that. It's because of money. Some organisations are saying this is why everyone's walking away from the game. Volunteers, I think volunteers will walk away from the game when all the rule changes come in, because they won't be bothered. And the admin, I walked away from the game because of the admin and the work that you had to do. It wasn't through the verbal abuse and aggressive behaviour, it was through a lot of jealousy as well in grassroots football, because there's a lot of teams out there with the will to win and just win. No draw, no loss, just win at all costs. So we need to take that away from the game themselves, and there's many managers and coaches out there who are guilty of that as well. So if we can work together and get things done as a team, then I'm sure football will develop a lot better, grassroots especially, and the kids can go out and enjoy it, because that's what you want, kids with smiles on their faces, referees, young referees who are still at school with smiles on their faces, everyone working together and making a difference. So there you go. So what I'd like to do is wish the Eastern Junior Football League all the very, very best in the future, with every league along the way. Let's hope we can solve the problems and iron them out. You can always give us a bell, always get in touch with us, mail@don'ttexttheline.com. No one's putting your league down. Everyone has a decision to make. You've made your decision. Let's see what happens in the near future. Good luck to all the teams in there as well. And obviously, any irate parents or spectators, the message to you is loud and clear. If you are irate and you want to cause trouble, your verbally abusive or aggressive behaviour comes out, and bullying as well, then stay away from the game. Leave it to the people who can develop your child and everyone else's child. There's good managers out there, good parents out there, and they're the ones that we want involved in grassroots football, so we can all work together and make that difference. Thanks for tuning into the show. Thanks to Radio Merseyside as well, BBC Radio Merseyside, Kevin, all the team for having me on the show today. Absolutely brilliant, and it gets the awareness out there once again. Wish everyone good luck for the weekend. Let's hope you enjoy your games. Loads of respect on and off the field of play. Look after each other and make sure that your referee is looked after as well. Just let the kids play and leave the referees to officiate. From myself, Mal Lane, all the team at the Grassroots Show, don't cross the line, Heart of Gold initiatives, no ref, no game, and one step ahead on mental health. We'll see you tomorrow, round about 3 p.m. Enjoy your Premier League fixtures as well. Cheerio for now.